Most creators wake up with a baking problem. We look at our phones, look at our business, and ask the same exhausting question. What do I have to cook up from scratch just to stay relevant today? Is that you? Tired, right? On the content treadmill, trying to bake a fresh loaf for Instagram and a different one for LinkedIn and another for your email list. And by 2 p.m., you're out of flour. You're out of energy. But what if I told you that you don't need a bigger kitchen, you just need a better strategy? Today, we're going to stop the daily grind of baking and start the strategic work of multiplying. Let's dive in. So here's the concept. Ask yourself, what should I post today? Asking yourself, what should I post today? This question is like a guaranteed path to burnout. It is a guaranteed path to burnout. In a high-level digital strategy, 1 hour of live video is the seed. And the repurposed clips are the harvest that exponentially expands your footprint while you sleep. So here's a probing question. Are you trying to create 30 individual posts from scratch, or are you multiplying one live moment to feed your entire market? Man, I was working with a guy and he was spending 4 hours on Monday trying to write up a blog. He was doing a couple hours trying to film for TikTok and spending some more hours designing an Instagram carousel. I mean, we're talking over 9 hours this guy was spending on what I would call 3 pieces of content. I mean, if you apply the multiplier effect, you could schedule one 60-minute live masterclass, right? That single hour becomes your seed. The results is that instead of 9 hours of fragmented labor, you can have 1 hour of high intensity genius that is ready to be broken apart, ready to be spread around and used to fulfill your responsibilities on all the different platforms. You don't need to work 10 times harder to build a massive digital footprint. You need to operate with a multiplication mindset. Yeah, the multiplication mindset. The miracle didn't happen for the fishes and loaves. It didn't happen because thousands of fish appeared out of thin air. It happened because the master blessed and broke what was already there. He blessed and broke what was in his hand. And so here's a strategy I want you to share. When you bless and break a single hour of live broadcast, you aren't just making a video, you are creating the loaf, you're creating the fragments, and you're creating the sustenance. The loaf is a full-length replay that you can put on YouTube or your website. That loaf is the full meal. Sometimes you may leave it up there as a live replay. Sometimes you may take it and fine tune it, polish it up a little bit, take out the live experience and just put it back for prioritizing just those who will watch it as a published video. The fragments are 10 to 12 high impact vertical clips for reels, for TikToks, for shorts. Those fragments can be wildly powerful, especially if you're intentional about what you clip and how you position those clips individually as standalone pieces of content. The sustenance. Man, you can pull the audio from that live broadcast, from that live video. You can pull the audio for your podcast. You can grab quote memes. You can grab the transcript from that video. And that can become blog posts, LinkedIn post, or even a weekly newsletter. The big idea is one source, infinite reach. Let me repeat. One source, infinite reach. You start with a single live moment, but you end up with an omnipresent digital footprint. Now, I want to give you an example. If you take that 60-minute live masterclass and systematically break it down, you upload the replay to YouTube with keyword optimized title. I want to kind of give you a little more detail for the LOAF, the fragment, and the sustenance. You make sure that the title is keyword optimized. Maybe you don't know how to break down the clips and you're thinking you're going to actually have to put this video on the timeline and you're going to have to actually clip it up yourself. No, use a tool like Munch or Opus Clip to find the top 5 aha moments under 60 seconds and post them as reels and shorts throughout the week. If you don't know what those two are, I'll leave some links in the description. I'll even put a comment, pin a comment below, because you know me, I actually don't like to edit video at all. So any tool that I can use is going to get me across the line. It's going to do some of that work for me. I want to make sure that we recommend it to you. Last piece, of course, is the sustenance, extracting the audio. Even QuickTime can help you get that audio out. YouTube itself will give you the transcript. If you need to drop that into ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, personal favorite is Gemini, drop it in there, and that's going to give you a summary. It's going to give you next steps. It's going to give you LinkedIn style posts, maybe some threads. It's going to give you some of those things, or you could use tools like Taja.ai and others that will extract some of those things automatically. The clips, the shorts, the blog post, the LinkedIn post, all of those things it'll give you, and you can begin to push those out. Your audience sees you. Your audience will start seeing you on 4 different platforms, but you only sat down in front of the camera once. You only sat down in front of the camera once. There's a biblical example that I have already kind of touched on here a little bit, and it's the 12 baskets principle. It's the story of the feeding of the 5,000 found in Matthew chapter 14. And as I mentioned before, Jesus didn't send the disciples to 5 different markets to find food for 5,000 people. No, that's not what he did. He took the 5 loaves and 2 fish that were already present. The scripture says he broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. But most important part for us who are building a personal brand is the end. They gathered up 12 baskets of fragments that were left over. They gathered up 12 baskets of fragments that were left over. In your business, the fragments are the most valuable part. They're sometimes more valuable than the original meal. The 60-second clip of you answering a tough question might reach 10,000 people who would never have watched the full hour-length content. If you aren't gathering and distributing your fragments, you are leaving the best part of your miracle on the ground. Imagine you're halfway through your live video. You got a viewer that asks a question you didn't expect, but it's right in your wheelhouse, and you know where that person is. You have felt their pain. You understand the genesis of that question, and you give a 2-minute, unscripted, passionate response that perfectly solves their problem and speaks to their pain. Y'all, listen, you don't let that moment die when the stream ends. You gather the fragments by clipping it up and making that 2-minute Q&A a video all on its own. Post that clip with the caption, "I was asked a tough question during today's live. Here's the breakdown." Because you want the people who are watching the clip to understand that this was done live. This was done on the spot. This was done unscripted, unprepared for, because you want them to recognize that you didn't just prepare a message, but that you are a prepared messenger. That leftover fragment often will get more engagement than the main presentation because it's raw, because it's authentic, and addresses a real pain point. You've turned a side note into a primary asset. Y'all, a basic brand creates from scratch daily, fueled by anxiety and white knuckle willpower. A premium brand creates once and multiplies infinitely, fueled by systems and strategy. I want to give you a fragment audit. Your last long form video or live stream, take that last long form video and live stream, identify 3 golden moments, 60 seconds or less of pure value, and commit to breaking them into individual posts this week. Stop baking from scratch, family. Start multiplying. Here's the truth. The miracle of multiplication only works when you have the right baskets to catch the fragments. Most of us have the genius, but we lack the system to scale it without losing our minds. This is why we do what we do inside the community. We don't just give you more work, we give you the frameworks to make the work you're already doing go 10 times further. We provide the environment where your one loaf of expertise is blessed, it's broken, and it's given to thousands who are waiting to hear from you. If you're ready to move from the exhaustion of daily baking to the peace of multiplied harvest, your seat in the circle is waiting. Let's stop working harder and start operating in the miracle of scale. Faith, Branding, and Live Video is a series posted on Tuesdays and Thursdays on this channel. If you missed one, go ahead and hit this playlist right here and be sure to leave a comment below. Grace and peace, family. I'll see you in the next one.